Hello.
Wow. That music was almost too relaxing. I nearly fell asleep.
I know, I'm all cozied up in
Yeah.
my blanket hoodie thing, and I'm like, ooh, it's ready for nap time.
You mean the
Yeah.
void?
Yeah, this is the void. Um,
Oh, we see Pippin's cat eyes.
hit me. Oh, look down at the bottom. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Devil
Hi.
eyes.
Hi, nerd. Hi. Welcome to Lesson 3NPC, everyone. Little showcast where me and my friends Joe and Kara we talk about stuff that's too serious to talk about while playing video games, or we just talk about stuff we like.
Mhm.
You know, fun things, cool things. Happy Wednesday, everybody! Halfway through the week, you can do this.
It's technically a Friday for me because my
What is
day
a
off.
week?
My day off is Thursdays, so yeah.
Well then.
I'm excited.
Before we get too far, Des, we have to do a shout out to
Oh yes.
Vetsuji or Arthur for our cool little
Yeah.
tags and
Okay.
stuffs.
In our watermark.
here.
Yeah.
That's over there. Yeah, it's over there. And then
It's
the
opposite
little-
from what I think I see.
Yes.
Is how I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
but yeah. They're
Yeah.
very kindly created and they're very
Yep.
cool. And
We got to
I
pick our
didn't
colors. Which is
Yeah.
good. Yep.
lime
blue,
green.
obviously the superior color of all. Duh.
I
These
mean,
fighting words.
I don't know. I like
The
my
longest
lime-
wavelength, we see blue the most. I'm just saying.
blue. Pippin's got a very nice blue edge light going on.
Yeah,
right
that's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. Hess says no, brown is the best color. You know what? I'm not gonna fight you on the best colors. Everyone has the best color. I'm just saying blue.
But you came out right out of the gate saying the blue is the best color, so I don't
No,
know.
blue is a
You started
superior
this.
color.
You started
You started-
this.
It's
Yeah.
not the best color. I'm saying it's a superior color. That's all.
I don't know.
You leave that into your own
All right.
interpretation.
All right, you backtrack that.
You got it, Xandra. Cheers.
I like most colors.
Yes, colors are great. Love colors.
We love colors.
Love refracted light. So awesome.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
pigments. Fuck yeah,
Oh.
pigments. But what if purple?
Mm-hmm.
It's close to blue, so it's acceptable.
All right, I'll take it.
Cobalt blue is the best color in the entire world. No one can fight me on that. That's the truth. That's the set. No, don't fight me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You should get the hex code for cobalt blue tattooed on you somewhere.
Oh shit, that'd be cool. I'd be
Like,
about that.
Just like as a little, just like a little.
I
Little
do
tiny
have
tattoo.
cobalt blue
Easter
in the
egg.
one tattoo I got.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but it's very minor. Like you wouldn't be able, like you have to pay attention
Mhm.
for it.
You have to really
So,
examine it
Mhm.
Really.
and say, "Is that cobalt blue?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Damn. Is that cobalt
Damn.
blue? Damn, girl, you wearing cobalt blue?
I almost am. This is almost cobalt blue. Like honestly, my parents to this day they'll look at something, either clothing or like things around me in my existence. So they'll be like, "Oh, do they have it in blue?" Because they'll like ask that while I'm around. I'll be like, "Yes, do they have one in blue?"
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I will take it.
I can't really talk though because most of my life is like, what things go good with black?
Everything
Everything
goes good with black.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's the point.
It-
That's why I always
There's
wear
no
black.
matching. Yep.
Although some people will fight you and they'll be like, well, black isn't really a color, it's a shade. So blah 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 blah
Meh.
blah 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 blah. Because it's really the absence of color, but
Or it's all of them.
Yeah.
But it could be the combination of all pigments, or it's the absence of color. It's the absence of light.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it depends on really what you're talking about.
Are we in grade 7 science class? No, we're not. We're here to talk about cool things.
We're here to talk about our colors.
Yeah. Yeah. That's surprise. That's the topic for today.
That's the topic for today. I
yeah.
lied. We're gonna talk about hobbies. We're having
Yeah.
a light one. We're having a light one. We're having a light week.
Yeah.
In it.
We can talk about stuff that's like not based on the entire doom set of our existence.
Oh, Hess is in here with the code for it. Kara.
That's
That was a-
actually really, really close to a hex code color I have on my idea board. On my idea board, I have 48A0C0. It's not the right color, but if that's cobalt, Hess, let me write that down. I'll just be staring at a Pantone palette for my evening. Continue.
Nice.
I am just
Maybe this is your hobby. Maybe your hobby is finding things that are exactly cobalt blue.
Exactly, cobalt blue. I allow slight differences in the cobalt. The cobalt is allowed to go more onto like the gray side of cobalt.
Like
That
more
is
of
allowed.
like a slate blue.
A little bit. Like that's my bracket. Like those
Yeah.
if I see that color, I might just like stop and just look at it for a bit.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea you were this devoted to cobalt blue. I knew you liked blue. That was something I was aware of. But this devotion to cobalt blue is new information to me. So
like I don't know what
I'm
it
learning
is
here.
inside my eyeballs and my brain. When I
Mhm.
look at cobalt blue, it does something to me.
There
Like-
actually is blue is like one of the calmest colors. It's like one of the ones that they paint inside of rooms of like children and like old people. It's like it's supposed to have good vibes on your brain.
I had a blue colored room for most of my life.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's a lie. It wouldn't be most of my life anymore. I'm old. All my later 10s and teen years, it was blue for sure. But yeah, I'm lacking the blue wall in this environment in my place, so I have to fix that soon.
Yeah.
But yes, blue.
I had a really good idea for a piece of art for you. I'm not gonna tell you though.
That's present territory.
It's present territory.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hobbies.
Well, first let's define what we're calling a hobby here. Like are we categorizing this as like a skill set of something that can be interpreted as a profession and could be paid for, but you don't do that to that degree?
No, hobbies are like things you habitually like to do for enjoyment. Yeah, that's not monetized.
And I think it also is, I think a core component is that it recharges you a little bit.
Yeah.
Or you're able to unplug from
and
stuff.
It's not something considered productive.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people will be like, this is my hobby. But really, it's like this thing that they do is like a side gig or whatever. It's like something that they're doing that's productive. Like cleaning's not a hobby. Cleaning's a chore.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more then. Anyway, don't start with me.
Can I do show and tell? Can I do a little show and tell?
Yeah, let's go.
Because I brought one of my original hobbies from back when Joe was a tiny human.
BB Joe?
Itty bitty Joe. But they're these.
Real life magic cards.
Real physical magic cards. And this is one of the like last like physical sets packs that I bought. And I actually haven't even looked at these in years. But I've been recently getting back into it with Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah.
I got a foil one in this one. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But this was like my main. Oh, I got a wolf token. That's awesome. Cool. This is like my core hobby for, I don't know, like the better part of a decade. And I ended up liking it more as a collector thing. I liked the art. I liked some of the gameplay was really cool. It felt very strategic, felt chess-like. You had to think ahead, you had to think moves, you had to plan, strategize. I got to a point where like I was good enough that none of my friends wanted to play with me. But when I tried to play with like strangers, like in tournaments, I got my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
So it kind of killed the playing side of the hobby. But again, the art is fantastic. They find great artists for their stuff, and I love the aesthetic of the cards. So I continued collecting after I stopped playing for a while. And then with Magic the Gathering Arena, the impulse was really brought back when they released a freaking cyberpunk themed Magic the Gathering set.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be buying a physical booster box for the first time in like 20 years. But I don't know. It's definitely falls in that hobby category because you don't get paid to play that game. And it was just sort of a side passion thing. Like it was just cool to collect the cards. It was cool to look at the art. Yeah, it was just a fun thing to do. I really enjoyed it. And I kind of regretted that I didn't really have a community that I felt comfortable in to play with. Because the other thing too that people I ended up playing with that were outside of my friend group were way older than me too. And yeah. And I don't know, this is just a side thing, but the experiences that I had when I did play with older people, it was very like, again, I don't want to misuse this word, but it was very gaslighty. Like when I played, because like the people I was playing was very condescending to me. It's like, you played that card, then don't you know I have a blue deck? I'm going to counter that, or I'm going to kill that creature.
No.
And so it kind of like,
Yeah,
it was very
that's
condescending
Yeah.
and not very fun to play with people like that. So I just ended up dropping it. But in Magic the Gathering Arena, you don't have to talk to the other person. It's great.
it's pretty
It's
good.
great. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But anyways, that's one of my original hobbies. And I want to do a little adult show and tell because we don't do that anymore. And I love adult show and tell. So,
I love that.
yeah.
I have only within the last year learned the very basics of Magic the Gathering. I've played I've played MTG Arena a few times, and I've like sort of kind of watched Ciara and Alex play. It's very complicated. The more like, especially like, the more you get into like the more complicated kinds of decks and like creatures and stuff and what they can do on what turns and what, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun on Arena because the cards all do exactly what they're allowed to do. You can't. You're not allowed to do a thing with a card that the game doesn't allow you to do.
Yeah.
So it's easy.
Yeah. And you don't have to remember what different cards do. Like the game just sort of takes care of that stuff. So there's some. I'm passably good at the game, but I've played some people where I'm just like, it's over by round 3 kind of thing. Like it's just it's ridiculous what people can kind of come up with and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's fun because it really gets you to think. It's actually my like morning wake up game. I have my coffee and I play several rounds of Magic. So, but again,
I feel like
it's
good to get your brain going in the morning.
Yeah, it worked. And again, that's what I think about it when I think about hobby. That's why I thought about the self-care aspect, because it's a routine thing that I've built into my mornings. Right, I have my coffee, play some Magic, wake up my brain, and then go on with the rest of my day. Right, so it's just this nice little thing that occupies my attention. That's not work related or life goal related or like I lost the word for it, but shit you have to do as an adult to take care of yourself, right? Like
responsibility.
Chores. I haven't really lost chores. But anyways, freaking adult chores. But yeah, well, responsibilities works too.
Yeah.
Oh, Hess, you had the same experience?
Yeah.
Parents picked me up, my 16-year-old ass, from the back room of a hobby shop in the sketchy and in downtown at 3 a.m. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was the other thing. Like when I was playing, the places that either sold Magic cards or were a place to play were like the back end of a hole in the wall comic book shop, right? And yeah, I remember dragging my parents all around different towns we'd visit because I wanted to go find a shop that sold Magic cards. And again, we'd end up in these like really sketchy, smelly places. Again, no judgment, but like there's definitely some. At least shower, please. Just shower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've been in some sketchy comic book stores.
Yeah.
They exist.
They do. Yeah, Faji. Yeah, Kamigawa. Yeah, that's the magic set, cyberpunk themed.
Mhm. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
some really cool art. I've always
Amazing.
really appreciated the art. For Ciara's birthday, Alex made her a custom magic deck.
Oh, sweet.
And me and like a couple other people got to help because we were all like trying to figure out like what should the cards be or whatever. Like I had a card and like the card was like Daddy Des, and it was like my ability was like I could use the banhammer and like eject one creature from the like playing field or something. Like
I love
Nice.
that. I absolutely love that.
it's an almost functional magic
Yeah,
deck,
no, that sounds
but
sweet.
it's full of like it's full of like stuff with her in it, stuff with her chickens in it, stuff with her cats in it. Like
Yeah. No, that's so awesome. There was an era, and this is how far I go back with this. There was an era where they included like blank cards in certain kinds of decks, where you would like encourage you to write up your own cards and stuff like that.
that's
I
cool.
I was like 9 at the time, so cards I came up with were terrible, but it was a cool thought, you know. So, anyways, it was a long time ago. But that sounds awesome.
They're very
That
cool.
sounds awesome. Mine's collecting old milk bottles. That's cool. Old bottles, milk bottles preferred. Interesting.
Nice.
Oh yeah, if you have a hobby or something that like tell us. That's like put it there. We want to know.
Sandra says, so my hobby is freeform arts and crafts. Oh wait, hold on, I can do
Nice.
the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. Try the new thing.
Dip-a-dip.
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 Dip-a-dip. It works.
Now I just gotta. All right.
Got it undibba now.
Yeah, dip.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Dibba-da.
It's not smooth, but it works.
It's fine. It works.
Works. Des, tell us about your hobby. We know about it.
Okay. Well, I just started LARPing again after the pandemic break, as it were. I also have a little bit. Did you forget your colored light, Kara?
Huh? No, I'm gathering options. I'm listening.
You don't look like you're listening, Kara.
I am
You
listening.
sit in your chair. No,
I am
we don't know.
listening.
We can't see you listening.
LARPing. Let's hear about LARPing.
Just runs away.
Yeah.
So I also brought a little bit show and tell because they were just over there in my closet. I have a sword.
Sword.
I have a sword.
Sword.
Oh, very nice.
I have a sword, and it's made of like foam rubber and latex. Like I can squish it.
That's solid. That's awesome.
Call that a sword?
This is a sword.
I know that's not the right one, okay? I know that's not the right quote, folks. Don't bite my head off.
So I do this thing called live action role playing, where I basically dress up as a character, and usually like a fantasy, like medieval sort of character, and I go off into the woods with my friends, and we beat each other up, and pretend to be different characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun. It's fun when it's fun, but it's also like one of the more intense hobbies I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because it's so like stuff intensive, because like you have to, you're set up with the option of like, all right, there's this game, there's this thing that other people run where you can participate by creating a character, paying them some money, showing up in a costume, and following the rules of the game. Just like a Dungeons and Dragons sort of situation, only added costuming.
Yeah, is there like a DM for LARPing?
Yeah, that's sort of like there's two sides essentially. There's the player characters that play the characters, and then there's the NPCs, the non-player characters that play the NPCs. And there's usually like a team, like a storytelling team or a plot team that drives the overall plot of the weekend, because we play for an entire weekend. We'll play from Friday night to Sunday morning. And then usually we'll have continuing campaigns that we'll go back for over and over again. And yeah, so there's like one group that like decides like, this is what we're running, this is what we're running this weekend, this is what we're running this year, like these are the stories we're going to tell. And then everybody shows up as whatever character they are. You put all your stats, just like a Dungeons and Dragons game, you put all your stats down on a piece of paper and you follow the rules in the book. And then you act like the character that you are for the entire weekend. It's very fun because
it sounds fun.
You don't have to like be yourself, which is neat. Or you can. Most like a lot of people are just like, I am myself in armor. I am myself with a sword, which is fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun playing and you're like not, yucking everybody else's time.
Yeah.
It's good. So then we'll do stuff like we'll get accosted by bandits on the road, or we'll have a town meeting and we'll like discuss the bandit situation. And then we'll have a town argument, and then someone will end up getting shanked in the woods, and so on and so forth.
But it's like an all-encompassing, like it's a more encompassing hobby, because you have to like not just participate, but like you have to make a costume and you have to be creative for your character. And
yep,
like I've never gone LARPing, so I don't know, but I'm guessing,
like
and all the stories that I've heard, I'm just like,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I also have this. This is what most LARPs would it's just like a little sword, but it's just red instead of
but
yellow.
It's like fabric, or no?
Yeah, it's a fabric over the top of it, and it's squishy foam. This is what we would consider a claw. Because you can only attack people with like your foam weapons. And so if someone were to dress up as a monster that had claws, well, it wouldn't make sense for the monster to have swords. So these are sort of like, this is to represent a claw. And that's the big thing too, is that like lots of things physically represent other things, even if they are not those things. Like I can say I have a battery powered lantern. I would paint that battery powered lantern up to look like an in-period lantern, and it would physically represent an in-period lantern, but it's not actually an in-period lantern. It's kind of like there are some LARPs that go like full all period, and I can't do that. That's so much money. It's so much work. There are LARPs where like you can't bring your medication. You can't wear glasses.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah. That sounds like, a bit extreme.
That's like the way far extreme. I am in like severely the casual LARPing center market. It's not as casual as other stuff, because there's like on one end there's you can't bring your medicine, you can't bring your eyeglasses kind of LARPing, like full period all the time. Or on the entire opposite end, there are just people who are stick jockeys who like to fight, and so they will get dressed up as a costume, like in a costume or whatever, usually like a medieval thing, and then they get together and they have a fighting tournament, which is really just them getting drunk and hitting each other, and that's like what they find
I'd love
fun.
to just film that. It'd be a good time. Just observing from a tree branch, watching all these drunk guys just smash the shit out of each other. Yeah, that's good.
It's fun. It's fun and like honestly, the fighting does take a fair amount of skill, so it's really, really fun to watch two really good fighters go after each other. Because most of the LARPs I play are lightest touch, so we're not like whacking each other with them. We're like tapping. It's mostly a wrist motion, so it's very fast. It's very like almost rapier like, yeah, it like I'm somewhere sort of in the middle with what I enjoy. I like a fair amount of fighting. I like to be in battle situations because I think that's like there's always like an energy that goes with a battle. There's always like a little bit of an adrenaline rush. Like, sometimes there's fear because your characters can die. Like in the game I'm playing, at least, your character can die. So like we're kind of, and also it requires a lot of brain power, because the way that we distribute damage, or the way that like we enact harm upon each other, is as we're hitting them, we're saying a number, or we're saying a command or a spell or a whatever, and we're giving them an effect. So I would hit someone and I would say 2 damage or whatever, and then they in their brain have to knock down 2 health off of however much health they have, and you're doing that math while you're fighting.
Are there rules around, like, if you hit somebody, you can't just say 10 million damage, right? So like
no. It's all based on
things...
it's based on your stats.
Gotcha.
So like if you went like full fighter, you know, you could put all of your stats into I just hit things very good, and then you hit things very good, but you're not very good at doing anything else. So there's that. It's all sort of how you build your character. And some people go at it from like a combat style. Like some people want a they go to play for a specific combat style, like sword and shield, or we have these little fabric things that we they're called packets. I'm trying to describe them. They kind of almost look like birdies from badminton.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
They
like
almost
a weighted side to it.
Yes,
kinda...
and with the tail. So that you can throw them at each other, but they don't hurt.
Right.
Sorry about that. But yeah, so some people get in it for combat, and then some people get in it for the role play. I lean more on the role play side of things. I want to make an interesting character, and then I want to play that character, and I want to like hang out with other people who are also playing characters. It's cool to explore things like different personality types, or different sexualities, or different genders, or whatever. Tremon, I see you. Tremon is a combat junkie. Don't let anybody tell you.
Okay.
I was wondering what that side eye was about.
I was like,
getting side-eyed.
Yeah.
I much prefer the role play of it all, because I like to make different characters. And also there's something like, or there can be, if you do it correctly and consentingly and all that jazz, there can be sort of like a like psychodrama aspect to some LARPs, or to some characters, and that you can be kind of cathartic with your characters, or work out something in your own life, like through a character.
Yeah.
Like, trying to think of a good example that's not like someone who endeavors to be more outgoing, or endeavors to be less scared or anxious, and like more accepting of new things, could play a character that was like that. And then you sort of have an excuse then to be like, I really should dig into this. Like, I really should, like, I should accept this thing that's coming along. I shouldn't run away from this thing that's coming along. I should go talk to people. Like, my character is outgoing, so I should go be outgoing. And then that's a way to like practice that in a safe environment.
Yeah. Because you're not risking your own vulnerability, right? You're
Even
somebody else.
If your character gets rejected, then that's fine.
Yeah. Interesting.
I would be an assassin and I just hide in the trees.
just like full, just like
black
camo makeup,
black leather gauntlets, everything, just like
little elf ears.
Yeah.
The fighting aspect is like pretty fun, and sneaking around and being very roguey is fun. It's less fun now that I'm like older and more out of shape. But like I remember,
you bring more wisdom though.
Oh no, I bring more wisdom, but it's just I'm not good at being very quiet and sneaky anymore.
Oh, I see
being
what you
quiet and sneaky involves usually being uncomfortable in some way. Like hiding underneath a cabin for like an hour, waiting for them to leave so you can steal their stuff.
Sorry, all I can think about at that moment where you're like being sneaky and uncomfortable, all I can think about is Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4 as he like humps the ground. Like, the people who know, you know. Okay.
Yeah. Just hiding inside of a bush.
Yeah.
For hours.
For hours. I'd
but
love that. That'd be
I'm
great.
playing now. I'm 30 and I've been playing since I was like 17 or 18. So I've been playing a long time. I've taken breaks. I've taken like a couple of year breaks, like every once in a while. But it's one of those things that I always just come back to because I love the storytelling aspect. I love hanging out with my friends. Like the people that I play with now in LARP, not all of them, but like my core group are people that I've known for like 10 years or who have come into the group from those people that I've known. And like I have some of my best friends from LARP. It's like it was a cool thing for me to experience during a time when I was like figuring myself out. Because I had this weird little place where I could be like, I can figure this out in game. And then maybe not have to be so risky in my personal life. I could make friends even.
Who needs friends?
Not you.
No.
I don't go on the internet to make friends.
No.
We've established that.
Yeah. I'm not on the internet to make friends. I am.
Let's make it clear. No.
Yeah. I am on the internet to make friends and make money. Those two things.
Yes. It's good to have clear laid out goals. I mean, typically. Insert something snarky.
Who needs friends when you can have squires? Real life. Because you can make squires do lots of stuff.
That's true, Halibut Barn. Yeah.
But
you usually need money for squires, don't you?
Well, you have to be a knight.
Oh.
A knight, and some, depending on what kind of definition of knighthood you're going through, some knights have a vow of poverty. So they don't have anything. Except a squire.
Except for you, boy. You're mine. Let's go. Ooh, not in a weird way. Let's be on the internet.
Let's be on the internet. Luckily, I have never been no, that's not true. I have been a squire once.
Yeah, halibut, clip that. Yeah.
No!
Clip it.
It's fine. I'll get over it. I've said much worse things on the internet.
It's true. I have most of them.
All clipped.
All clipped. In a library somewhere. I was a squire once. My knight, though, was a friend of mine who was ex-military. And his whole his squire training was very much just boot camp. So I just remember accepting the squire position, and then it was Saturday morning after we had been up all night Friday, because we're usually up until 2 or 3 in the morning at these things, just either chilling or legitimately out there fighting monsters. And I woke up, or no, it was Saturday morning. I was dead fucking asleep. It was so early in the morning. And I just hear my character's name being screamed from outside my cabin, and the door busts open.
Get up!
Get up! Get on your feet! It's time for... I was like, I may kill you in and out of game. I didn't, but I thought about it.
You thought it. You planned it. That's right.
Premeditated.
Yeah. Premeditated LARP
self.
murder.
Oh, premeditated LARP murder is a thing.
Oh, I bet
There-
it is.
There
Mhm.
used part of me misses this, part of me does not miss this. There used to be, in one of the old games I played, there used to be a system for making traps. So you
Mhm.
could like make something that basically you would make tiny Rube Goldberg machines, and at the end they were supposed to make a noise. And it
Mhm.
could either be like a mouse trap, or like if they stepped in bubble wrap, like knocked something off of a cat, like if you kind of like weaseled it so they knocked something down and it was clearly
Mhm.
very loud, like you could trap somebody with in-game explosives using like these weird little Rube Goldberg machines. And
Mhm.
that was always fun because that also required usually like distracting the person away from their cabin and then coming into their cabin when they were distracted and taking like an hour to set up traps all in their cabin, and then they
Yeah.
just walk into their cabin and explode. It's very fun.
R.I.P.
Mhm.
If you guys were to play LARP characters, what would you play? Kara, we already know you're gonna be assassin.
Yeah.
But what kind of assassin?
I feel like
I'd
it'd be
there's
some.
also
What do I
I'd
like
be like
care
a
about?
wizard or something like that.
something
I've always
magic-y.
been. Yeah, I've always been sort of drawn to that as characters. And I feel like it aligns with an aesthetic that I already got going on here. So yeah, I think. I feel like I'd like to be, because I was thinking about this for there's ever like I'm sure there's like Star Wars LARPs, but I like the idea of being like a very like middle ground Jedi, right? So I'm a Force user, but I don't align with Sith or Jedi, right?
Ooh,
Kind
what are
of
those called? The
walking,
Grey Knights? The
yeah,
Grey
Green Knight, something
Jedi?
like that.
Yeah.
Because I just love the idea of that, like not ascribing to the dogmas of either side and like
Yeah.
kind of being a chaotic neutral, helping out the people that get caught in the crossfire
Ooh.
for the Jedi Wars or the Republic Wars or whatever. I like that idea. That's something. So something medieval-y like that, I think would be my jam.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. You can go full vax, Kara.
Dega. Yeah, I don't know, something. Yeah, maybe like with the personality of like reluctantly helping people. You know, just kind of like existing in my space and be like, oh, these okay, whatever. Like I'll help you, but then like turn around and just go like, oh, I gotta go kill that person. Okay, bye, and then perform murder and then come back. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. And then I'd be like that I've always wanted to. Like if I was an actor, I've always wanted to play that character who would be like the assassin character who is like you stumble upon them in the pub.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like hunched over in the corner. The hood
Oh,
on.
very Aragorn.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. But definitely not a heart of gold like Aragorn that has.
Yeah. But I just meant the meeting, how they met him. And
Yeah, and I just,
Mhm.
or I'm just like constantly giving off the vibe of like, don't fuck with me, kid. You know? And then unfortunately, you know that someone who's like a really like jolly bard is gonna be the one who comes over and talks to you.
Of course.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
ugh, please no. And then what I really want is that like super sassy like magician wizard lady to come over and talk to me. Like that's really what's happening here. But yeah.
I feel like I would love to watch or like experience a story where you are stuck with that like jolly peppy bard. Like
Yep.
I feel like that's like
they really have something you need, and so
Yeah.
you have to protect them.
It's
See,
like
that
the
would be a
medieval
good
buddy
story.
cop like
Yeah.
pairing kind of thing. I think that would be
Sounds like we need to
amazing
start a
watch.
show, is what I am hearing
Yeah.
right now.
I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. We need a few more people though.
Just a couple.
Also a DM.
Yeah.
Just missing a lot of pieces to this. Don't worry about it.
Are you still
Details.
playing your D&D game, Kara?
Hmm?
Are you still playing your D&D game?
Well, technically it's not D&D because I know people will yell at
Oh,
me
it's
for that.
Pathfinder. It's whatever.
No, it's called Demon Lords. It's kind of like a branch off. But yeah, still going. We're on our 3rd campaign. It's fun. Currently, I am a drampire, so like half vampire, who is seeking out the one who sired her mother whom birthed me. It's getting real. We're like shaking up politics and shit. It's a thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The person who sired your mother who gave birth to you?
Yes, because as a half vampire, I'm not born from a bite. I was like born.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Via a human woman.
yes.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's currently my character. Before that, I was a very old Jotun lady. So big frosty barbarian lady. That was fun.
That feels on brand.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Although the whole campaign was in a desert, so I didn't know that, and like none of the Jotun special effects was applicable, like at all. It's just like you don't succumb to cold damage or like anything like that. And I'm like, this is
it. I'm gonna die.
Thank you,
It's too
Jason.
hot.
Yeah.
Couldn't have
And
been
my
a-
first character though is probably what we just described the most, and like probably the most like me. I was just like the descendant of the in Demon Lord they're like called the men of Gog, or the first men of like the people of this place. And so I was a descendant of like the old gods people. But I was very like assassin, undercover agent, giving messages between empires and stuff
That's
like that. That
cool.
was fun. Yeah.
I love that.
So
Cool.
I love this stuff. Like, besides, I should have been an actor, like, because I love jumping into characters. But then as I grew up, I realized like acting was just not a sustainable thing
No.
at all. Because they would be
No.
like, you could be the waitress in the restaurant for 25 years, and I'm like,
Yep.
that's not an option.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time I ever got to act in like an actual thing, like a short film, I was actually on a motorcycle. I was a stunt driver. That was a really fun day. So
got to be in a movie.
I got to be in the movie.
I don't think I've ever acted in it. Well, no, I've acted in stage plays.
Yeah.
I was in
I
a
love
movie, but I
character building.
didn't act in it.
Right. You should write more. That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah.
I guess this is a hobby. Tabletop RPGs, hobby.
Oh yeah,
Very much hobby.
straight up a hobby.
Straight up hobby. Yeah. Oh, Alex is here.
I also saw Roxy's here too. Hi Roxy, hi Alex.
Roxy.
And Roxy Cannon.
Roxy Roller.
Yeah.
That's a joke. That's a Canadian song that Roxy hadn't heard until the Canadians entered into her life. So you're welcome.
So
yeah, that's right. Marauder. That was the name of the show. Oh, it got Aussie distribution? Fuck yeah. No one's gonna know it's me, but I'm the Marauder. Let's go. Holy shit.
She famous, folks. She famous.
Yeah. Oh, Hess, I'm definitely offering death sticks to people at the bar. 100%. Try your luck, kid.
Hi Goki. I don't remember I LARPed before I played D&D, so I guess my first character was a character I've still played within the last few years. Who I haven't officially considered retired, even though I haven't played her in a couple of years. But I played. There was like this thing where you could play an anthropomorphic animal. So you could play like an animal person, and in the game that I originally started in, and so I was an otter person named Aiden, and I was a teenager, so it was a very goofy character.
Yes. Do you have photos?
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. There's actually so few LARP photos of me. It is by far the geekiest thing I do. It's also one of those things, like, you know how just certain hobbies or certain things just do not photograph or videograph well? Like, it's just...
That's fair. Yeah.
It's, like, unless you're getting, like, professional, like, costume photos, like, cosplay levels of photos taken, like, pictures of a LARP event almost never turn out good. I've tried so many times. I take my camera to so many LARP events, and I come out with, like, 5 photos. Like... But yeah, I played... She evolved over the years too. Like, she was just sorted out this, like, sort of, like, naive, like, pick me girl, like, oh my god, I'm just gonna go out and do all the things and get in all the trouble and hang out, and very high pitched, very annoying. Because I had made her personality after what I assumed an otter was, which was high energy, kind of annoying, kind of mischievous.
Nice.
And then over time, she became like more of a nomadic type and like a human person, because I transferred her in between games. And by the last time I played her, she was like a nature mage. She was like a druid almost, and was one with the spirit of the earth.
Nice.
So 10
Pretty
years
solid
will really
evolution.
grow up. Yeah, I saved the world multiple times. It's kind of great. The world ends at around October or November every year.
Like the world ends, like the world implodes. Is this...
Yes. Something catastrophic happens. Either we're getting like an army's coming down, or like there's some nature or magic thing that's happening that the whole world is crumbling. Like, because they try to like build up every year's plot into like a year-long storyline. So there's like a good cap on the year. And so like sometime around October or November, I feel like, I mean, sometimes it's other months, but like towards the end of the year, towards the end of the season, it'll be like, the world's on fire, everything's burning, you have to go save the world. Save the world plenty of times.
It's that time of the year, you know, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Stop an undead horde from eating all the children. All of the children. Karen's like, I don't know that I really oppose.
Yeah.
Like I said, I might have a character who just be like, I think I'm just gonna sit this one out in a tree.
Which I've done before. Like, it for me, I also love NPCing. Let me be clear. I love playing characters, but NPCing, like when you're on the plot team and you're running the story, is like you get to play whatever character is applicable for the situation. You get to write whatever character you feel like will fit best into the rest of the town that you've built.
That sounds cool.
And you can play like a ton of them over the weekend. Usually, like when you first start off NPCing, you kind of start off as being the monsters. So it's like, you know, you play the bear that wanders into town, or the goblins, or the whatever, the Umber Hulk. And those are less like roleplay roles, but usually over time, or like, you know, it really depends on your shack and your personality. You get in and like they're like, oh, here you are, a farmer from this town, and you have been having these troubles. Pick a name, pick a costume, go hang out in the tavern for an hour, and people come up and talk to you, and they might come help you, and that's fun. Because then you can just make up whatever you want, like within reason. But I've run a lot of games, and I've played a lot of NPCs, and that's my favorite part of NPCing, is just like making up new weird characters that I only play them, you know, maybe for an hour. It's not a lot of commitment. It's pretty good. Anyways, that was my LARP rant that I promised everyone.
Very good. It's good LARP. Good LARP rant.
It's a good time. It's also just so time consuming. So time consuming. The amount of time I have just put into this LARP for this weekend. I'm going to a LARP this weekend, which is partially why I'm talking about it. and put a lot of work into this character.
Very good.
Oh,
You'll
I
have a
haven't
good
told
time.
I haven't told you I haven't told you about my current character.
Tell us your current character.
So their name is Hemlock, and I basically just wanted like a himbo mage with a shield.
Oh, a himbo mage.
In my head,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
trend more towards guy energy, so I definitely just play Hemlock as a dude. Um and it's just like I'm an elf, but Hemlock like used to be in the military and like fought in this magic war and is like kind of like got a devil may care attitude, sort of the laughing soldier sort of trope. Very Inglorious Bastards vibe. Um and it's been fun. I've only played them once and I really like it. Keep thinking now like something will come up and I'll be like, oh, that's a Hemlock thing.
Yeah.
Like some motion or thing I'm doing or some way I said a thing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a Hemlock thing, and I just put that in my brain for later.
Yeah. That's cool.
Do you show and tell, Kara?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kara's hobby. We haven't talked about Kara's hobby.
Well, okay. First off, here's the thing. Here's my little rant before I show off these little things. I don't have hobbies anymore because I have no life because my job encompasses my whole existence. So I'm going to show you 2 hobbies that I used to have and had a lot of fun doing. And then we'll talk about other things afterwards. Okay, so the first one was I only have a sample here because it's the only one I still have. I used to love building little models. So I got this one when I was in Japan with Joe. But it's Gunpla. So it's just plastic Gundams and you like take all the pieces and you build them.
Yeah.
But I used to build tons of like I built like 7 or 8 planes and I had cars and boats. So like my parents would be like, okay, we're going to go near a hobby shop. Do you want something? And I'd be like, yeah, get me the Mini Cooper. I want to build a Mini Cooper. But I loved it because I got to basically escape life when I was doing it because we'd have the little paint jars. They were like this big and we had shitty brushes. Like mine did not look good. They looked terrible, which is why they got thrown out. But I loved the process of like looking at the instructions, having my little tools. So I'd have like my paints and my glues and my little decals and then follow the procedure of building it and gluing the things together and then making it a thing. I loved that. And I could just disappear for hours at a time in the darkness of my parents' basement. And I don't know. The first one I did, I was probably like 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like quite young. And my parents loved it because they were just like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
Go do the thing. And I'd be like, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I think like first off, if I ever went back to Japan, I'd probably like buy 5 of these to bring home because I love them. I think they're pretty cool. But anyway, so that's the first one. The second one is I used to love to draw. I was not a great artist, but I enjoyed drawing. So these are like, I don't know. I still have them. Obviously, I care about them. So like this is like some artwork from grade 7. So I would like draw landscapes and another landscape. I even signed it. I thought it was that good. I was like, here, look, I'm gonna sign this thing.
It's gonna be worth something someday.
The one fruit thing that I did.
Ooh.
You know? So I don't know what grade 7. That's 12.
Still
I was
life.
12 when I did these. And then the thing is, like, I even drew some stuff when I was a kid that I like really loved. Like, I draw little baby Gohan when I was little.
Oh my god!
And I had like a little octopus there. I was really into Gundam Seed for a long time, so like I drew one of the characters in it.
Nice.
An orchid that was half drawn.
Aw.
And then, but just not a lot. I didn't do this a lot, but I loved doing it when I had time. Oh, another landscape. I don't know what this is about.
E is just so excited for your Gohan drawing. Yo!
Best underrepresented character in Dragon Ball Z. Don't at me. That's the whole thing. But yeah, that's the sad part is I probably did one of these drawings. Like the rest of the book is empty. Probably that last drawing was, I don't know, I would have been 20, 19. And I just haven't done it since. So it's like nice to have these things, but just realizing like I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, kind of sad, but
I agree, Halibut. The artistic hobby things is stuff I wish I could do, but never could get over the initial. I think there's a lot of like performance anxiety around it. I couldn't get into the process of being bad at it at first, right? And then, you know, because this feels like, I don't know, like with Magic, I don't know what's different about it because you still have to be creative in Magic to play it, to craft decks and stuff like that. But creating something out of nothing, I think, is the intimidating aspect about it. You know,
Yeah.
When it comes to music, when it comes to art, even writing, right? You're creating something new, totally new, right? I did much better with stuff that was already existing, you know, and can manipulate that. So, yeah,
I mean,
that's cool.
There are hobbies though that are entirely based off of making something off of something that already exists, like fan fiction and cosplay.
Yeah,
totally.
Like you don't have to design everything from ground zero. There's sort of an expectation as to what the thing will sort of kind of look like, and then you can kind of do your own creative spin on it.
We had writing assignments like that in high school, where we had to fill in chapters. Like there was chapters where there was from chapter 5 to 6, there was a gap in what happened, and so our teachers would often ask us to write that missing chapter, and I did enjoy that. I did really enjoy that. So maybe I should write fan fiction. Maybe that's how I get back into my writing.
I mean, I wrote fan fiction for many years in high school. There was a lot of hours spent writing so much fan fiction, and also online role playing. Oh my god, that consumed my entire high school experience. I would go home and I would write pages of online roleplay content. Like
I don't know what you're talking about. The world renowned, some of the best literature ever written on the face of the planet, 50 Shades of Grey, was from
But are we saying that that's good fan fiction?
No! Just telling you that's what can happen.
To be fair, she did make hella money off that.
She made hella bank. She made so much money.
Oh, and then if there's other Wattpad nerds in here, 365 days, the Netflix movie series, whatever, or no, it's not Netflix, it's Passion Flix, the Passion Flix series, was based off of 50 Shades of Grey. So it's fanfic all the way down, baby.
Yeah.
It's Twilight into 50 Shades.
Yeah. Twilight is 50 Shades, then the next step. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what I was just trying to make a joke.
But yeah, like honestly, fan fiction's a great place to just like kind of be creative without all the work. I always felt like when I was writing, I'm good at writing short stories, but the second I try to make a long form thing, I get so caught up in the world building of it all
Yeah.
that like I can't get past that step.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dies in my brain. But when the world building's already done for you, or the character stuff's already done for you, you just get in it. Just hop on in it.
Can you, Des, can you highlight Hess's comment there?
Not at all.
Said I used to. A little
Oh.
few down. So here's the thing. This is what I was going to tag on to my other side of things. So Hess says, I used to draw, paint, and write a lot for myself too, but once I started animation as a career, those things didn't really fill me up as much as it was just trying to do something with my creative brain after 8 to 10 hours of using it for work. Hello. I am also at this table.
Hello, yes. Hello, yes.
Hell yes. But this is an interesting thing that I would love to talk about, because when we talk about hobbies, it usually interacts with something that we were saying at the beginning and like fills your cup, right? Like it gives you back something in it. So like today, if I had to think, I'm like, I showed you 2 examples of hobbies that I used to have. I'm like, the only hobby that I actually have today, I think, is photography. I don't get paid for photography, but it's like everything that I post on my Instagram is just me having a hobbyist photography expression. Even though photography kind of borders into my profession. Like it's a weird line that exists now where I'm like, well, people are like, oh, aren't you so lucky you have a hobby for a job? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, first off, my professional career is my career. It's how I exist in this world. But when I look at photography, I'm like, yes, it technically is a hobby because I don't get paid for it, but it is a creative output that is like essential for me to still pull on those creative strings. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm now realizing I'm like, I do less and less and less of it because I'm exhausted, because I'm in that mindset constantly. So it's just, I think that's really frustrating for me anyway. I'm like, I have these hobbies. I know that they make me happy and I know that they fill my cup up again. I just don't have the energy for it. And that's just makes me feel sad.
Oh, I feel that. I barely have the energy that I need for my job.
Well, and it's just that, right? Because I look at it and
like,
I go,
when your job is something creative, like, because like I love my job. Like I love my job, but it does force me to be creative on days when I'm just not feeling it. And like sometimes pulling that teeth is just the worst fucking feelings. You never feel like it's so hard to come out of that feeling good. Or I'll put it off forever because I wasn't feeling creative the day that I made it. So going back and editing it is like fucking torture. Like I feel like I'm reliving this nightmare of just doing a thing I didn't want to do.
Oh yeah, editing is a weird existence here. Like I'm reliving a part of my life more than once, and this is strange.
In excruciating detail too.
In excruciating detail. In forward and back.
Frame by frame by frame, back and forth, frame by frame. Yeah. I have some experience in that too.
Sorry. Yes, Halibarn. Being a Sith is a hobby. Yes, correct. It is. I should say, okay, so streaming is kind of a hobby. Yeah.
Streaming is kind of a hobby.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think the difference though is like it's still a thing that requires offering energy out, whereas a lot of my hobbies are kind of introspective. Like building little models, drawing, going out and doing photography. It's usually a very subtle
internal.
Yeah.
Creativity without obligation.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But yes, being a Sith is a hobby. It's my part-time hobby.
Part-time hobby.
I kind of wanted to tack on to that exhaustion piece, and I think it's a bit of a it's related, but it's a bit different. But it's the exhaustion thing that resonated with me, and I think they're two related. So follow me around this. I'm going to do a garden path walk here, but like for me, it's not having the energy because you're trying to build something. Like right now for me, like I'm trying to build a new career, a new shift. There's a big shift happening in my life, and I know there's things that I want to do with my time. There's like the hobbies I want to do. The writing is a huge one, right? Um, but it is exhausting to try and integrate that stuff when there's other things taking priority, and then there's guilt that comes with not doing the thing that you know you want to do, right? Um, let alone the performance aspect of it, where it's like I want to do this thing well, right? And I know for me, my brain wants to skip ahead to doing it well and not understand that there's lots of practice that comes with it. And the practice is the thing that takes the time. And so I know for myself, when I tried to have slightly more creative hobbies, um, I run out of steam on the practice bit, right? And I
Yeah.
don't know if that resonates with other people, but like that's where I run out of steam, and that's where I will guilt myself around like you dropped this, right? And I think, and here comes this part again, and I think that because we live in a capitalist, process oriented, results oriented, productivity oriented world, um, I think we can easily sabotage ourselves and people around us too, right? Um, will, tut tut your writing or your drawing or whatever. If you're not going to work that into a side hustle, people are like, why are you doing that? It's just, I don't
For
know.
myself, for my joy, for my
Yeah.
happiness. Also, 67 minutes. I feel like that might be a record before you've had a capitalist reign. 67 minutes.
Mark it down.
I just
Mark it down.
see the
feel
next
it
one.
Somebody
bubbling
somewhere
up.
mark it down.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's there, right? And I eat like it's worked it wormed my way into my brain. Like I have to think about, like, have a thought when I'm writing about like monetizing it or whatever. Like the end goal is some sort of monetary thing, and I need to dig that out because um, I can't enjoy the practice. I
yeah.
can't enjoy, like I can enjoy, like I'm fully back into like trainings for swimming now, and I can enjoy the practice aspect of that, and I'm able to manage and say like I'm a second and a half faster here. This is getting less tiring. This is getting quicker, right? But for some reason, when it comes to like the creative stuff, there's this block, and I can't focus on that progression, that little gain, Anyways, so
Yeah.
that's my rant.
No, I feel that a lot. I usually need other people to push me into doing creative projects.
Mm-hmm.
I identify with this comment from Eater Noise a lot. I used to read teen fiction as a teen, Twilight, The Hunger Games, Alex Rider. Now as an adult, I feel nonfiction just has more to offer in exchange for time invested. So the fiction books build dust.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. And I'm not a person that likes nonfiction. I really don't. So it just means I just end up not reading books.
Mm-hmm.
Audiobooks have actually kind of been a lifesaver for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was very anti-audiobook when audiobooks were starting to like come out. I was like, no, I want the smell of the book and the feel of the paper, and no, these are my books. And then time, it just gets hard carrying a book all the time, and you never know when you can break it out and do something. Or
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'd love to listen to an audiobook and just pretend like I'm engaging with other humans and just not be. Like going to the grocery store, listening to an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
I am existing, and yet I am still doing something for myself.
Yeah.
But then it turns back into like, is your hobby productive conversation?
Yeah.
It's like, are you only engaging in your hobby when it's productive? I don't just sit and listen to audiobooks like a psychopath.
My God. It's like
I
listening
mean,
to a podcast.
I say as my best friend reads like 7 books a week. Like
Yeah.
no. Fembot has a weird talent. There's this hyper reader.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
She's insane. But yeah, I identify with identify with that struggle of like, well, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a thing that's not useful for me anymore. So
Yeah.
do I need it?
I mean, first off, I think what I would want to say to people who aren't engaging in a hobby that they do enjoy because of the pressure of like it's not productive or it's not good enough or whatever it is, we need to be in a mindset that we still need to do things in our lives that are just for us.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you make something and it's a hobby that you enjoy, it doesn't mean that you have to post it on social media or else it didn't happen. Right? Like you're allowed to do something and not have someone's opinion on it. You're allowed to create something and just have the experience of the enjoyment of making it or building it or planning it or designing it. And it's just yours. It doesn't belong to anyone else and it doesn't need anyone else's comments on it. I think we need to become more secure with that. Like there's lots of things in my house that I will not even show anyone. Like I know we did a little show and tell and I don't mind showing those things. But there's things that I've made in my house that I'm just never going to show people unless like you're like IRL in my house.
Yeah.
But that's not a thing to say I'm like hiding it away or I'm scared to share it or whatever. I'm like, no, it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to show everybody what I have.
No. And I've always been in that mindset a lot of my life where I sit there and I go, and I think that's why I'm so sad that I've kind of abandoned some of these hobbies that I have is because that process actually is really enjoyable. Like I feel like I'm a little goblin when I have those things. So I'm just like, no one's gonna see this. It's just like tucked away somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Unlike those tiny fucking little hands that I keep finding around my place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
One day I'm gonna have to make a ritual with all of them. I haven't thrown them out. I've collected them. I call it my cursed jar. And that's where they all are now.
I like whenever you do find them all eventually. You should like. I need a picture of the full jar of.
Yeah. I'll send you a photo of that.
Although be
I might have
careful
to
about
burn them.
Well, be careful about how I was gonna say. Be careful how you dispose of them because if you are like manifesting this as a curse jar,
Yeah.
I mean, Kara, this is how horror movies start, right? And so if you are careless about how you dispose about these,
What
you
if
may
we
be
write a horror movie
spreading a
about death
curse.
by tiny hands?
I mean, we could.
I mean, we could.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Be a
Burning
good
it.
skit.
Burning it might give you some bad juju because I have given you every single tiny hand with love. So burning the tiny hands might
See,
bring you
Kara,
some bad
But
juju.
is it love though? Like what love? This is chaotic love. So burning chaotic love should also have
Welcome
some
to
sort
me.
of like oh my god. I hope one day we can actually share the clip of like why people started doing this to me.
I bet we could.
I have the moment. Someone
Yeah.
filmed the flipping moment that the
pretty-
tiny hand thing started.
It was either Alex or Roxy.
Yeah, I think Alex has it. But I don't know if we're
Also,
allowed to share that stuff.
Somewhere exists is the video of you calling me a little shit.
It really?
Yeah, somewhere exists is a video of you calling me a little shit because I had put tiny cat hands in your shoes.
That's
and you
right.
found them
Yes.
after I had left the country.
Yes. I had no option to yell at you.
Oh,
definitely love, says Xandra. Definitely love.
Definitely love.
Okay. Goki's, yeah, similar sentiment. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
I like this. I like this. This is a good hack.
I was just gonna say, like, the one to highlight because I think that's the thing that people like for the writing thing. The writing is a big thing for me. The biggest thing that they say for that is like setting aside an hour or a chunk of time to do it, right? And to just write something. So, I don't know. I thought about doing that.
For the audio listeners,
I thought of writing.
Hespiel said, something that I find helps me since most hobbies require setting up some materials or equipment is to have an area set aside for that. Like right now I have a laptop and notepad set up for writing on my coffee table and I'm damn well leaving them there.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, the mini stories, like writing myself mini stories during my my shift at work, let's say, because we have this thing called MFA where we're off deck for 20 minutes. And I just thought like maybe for 15 minutes of that, I go and write myself a little short story, and just
Yeah.
simplest thing, just pick random shit to write about, but make it not factual, right?
Yeah.
Make it make something up about it. So I thought about doing that. But again, it's about integrating that and getting to that habit that way, right? So removing those barriers to getting into the routine.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, I like
here's
that.
the other thing too. Sometimes when you have a committed community around something, you get the energy from other people to put into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like in our Discord, we had that community writing group, and you used to do exercises, and it got you writing. It involved people. It was engaging because you got to see what other people were doing, and you were bringing it together in that collaborative environment, which was like very open and sharing and all those other things. Very similar to when I tried to get some of those photo challenges going in the Discord, right? Because sometimes you just need people there who are like, yeah, I'm engaged in this too, and I want to do this too.
Yeah.
And it just helps the motivation to do stuff. Which I now feel like we should just try again. Once September's over, I'm going to be way more active on Discord and getting some things going. But until my show is done in September, I am fucking useless.
I'll see you all on Christmas.
What?
I'll see you all at Christmas.
You're coming up here?
No, I mean like in the Discord, because like I'm
Oh.
basically busy until the end of November.
Dear fracking skies.
Yeah.
But yes, making time for hobbies is important, and like having little communities that do hobbies is also important.
Yeah.
Because I legitimately would have quit LARPing because we went 2 years without it, and I was like, nah, I could go back, I could not go back. And it was my friends. It was the people who were like a little bit more motivated and a little bit more like attached to the thing that I was, that were like excited to go do the thing. I was like, oh yeah, I do really like this thing. It's almost like I had forgotten that I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's about, okay, so first off, there's like some different degrees of stuff. Like there's things that we authentically run into in our lives just by accident. And we're like, this is cool. I love this. I want to learn how to do it. And you're like very independent entry into things. And then there's stuff that other people introduce us to. They're like, have you heard of LARPing? Or like, have you heard of tabletop RPG? Like I hadn't thought, like the first time I played any sort of tabletop RPG, I was 24. And it made me sad that I only discovered this at 24.
Yeah.
And I think the what I'm trying to get at is I think the items that we get introduced to sometimes feel perhaps more like you get a good jump start on it, but you kind of trip over yourself to try and either catch up or get to the level that you want to be at with it. Whereas when we authentically kind of just find something ourselves, we find our own path and we kind of like scuttle through the beginning parts and find a place to kind of nest down in. So they have different energy needs. Like for me, if I were to start saying like, okay, I teleport to Japan tomorrow and I buy myself some amazing gunpla to build back home, my brain would go into that mindset of like, okay, I know how to do this. It's simple. Like I just need a few little items, but I just need time. Right? Whereas when I talk about things that people have introduced me to and it needs more people and involvement, like, my Demon Lord game that we play every Saturday night, I'm like, fuck, I really need to like, my DM had like 5 questions for me. I haven't answered any of them. Like he's not going to have any time to plan and prep and all these other things. So it becomes a much more involved, like, weight in your brain. And I think that's like where the division of hobbies that I see as well is like, there's the ones that you just kind of like disengage and you go do. and then there's the ones that you have to constantly be engaged in to promote.
Oh, my captain Gingerbeard's reading with a party of 6. Thank you, friend.
Welcome.
Ahoy, me captain. What were you guys doing? Were you guys playing Phasmo? Or were Sea of Thieves? Ahoy there.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. I miss you, captain. I'll come play Phasmo with you sometime. Battlefield. That sounds fun. Anyways, we're talking about hobbies here, friends. Turns out we're a bunch of nerds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We. I think we should get some folks telling some other hobbies that they got. So we got crocheting. I've seen crocheting so far. There was some art.
Yeah.
Who's our practical hobbyist? Who like builds shit?
Woodworking, like.
Yeah, like who's our like hobbyist woodworkers or welders or sculptors, or is there anyone who does that stuff?
My girlfriend's awesome. She makes these really cool like nature dioramas. Like those are her thing. Like she if it wasn't all the way in the other room, I would bring it. Maybe I'll throw a picture of it in the Discord later. But she made me, and it's one of my favorite pieces of art that I've ever owned. It's a full snake skeleton on top of like this nest, like this bird's nest with like lavender, and it's got like these like dried purple flowers in it and like sticks, and it's like just this little like nature diorama with a snake skeleton in it, and it's in like a glass box.
Cool.
And that's like her, thing. That's her hobby. Is she like makes these really cool nature dioramas out of just scavenged stuff.
Yeah. That's neat. That's cool.
It's creative. And there's that stuff.
Oh. There we go. Goki. Radio infrastructure.
What?
Yeah.
Build radio infrastructure.
Yeah, Goki can tell the story, but I'm pretty sure he like just goes around lots of like rural environments and like helps build radio infrastructure.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah. And do we have bug people? There's got to be a bug person somewhere.
There's got to be a bug person. I do have some bugs. I am not specifically a bug person. I just like some bugs.
Collectors. What do we collect as a hobby? Well, we know Joe.
Things.
Magic cards.
Yeah. I have a nearly full set of the dark. I don't know, again, for the Magic folks in the chat. It was mid 90s, 90. Came out in 93, so it must have been like 95, 96. But the dark, very witchy aesthetic to it. I nearly have 3 complete sets. I'm just missing some of the more rarer cards because I collected these when I was younger and didn't have the, $100 for some of the more rare cards. But they're there. They're almost complete. So
yeah.
Cards, figurines.
What kind of cards?
Faji says I only build virtual stuff. That's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I got a lot of mileage out of building settlements in Fallout 4.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Oh my gosh.
Fun.
That's kind of the most fun part of that game, which is kind of sad. But like,
well, the rest of it.
Well, seriously, like I just started playing Fallout 4 again, and like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and truly the only reason I'm going on the quests is because I will run out of stuff, and I need more stuff so I can build more stuff in my settlement.
Yeah, I level up enough to get like the fusion generators and some of the more high tech stuff, so I don't have to have all these freaking like gas powered things roaming around. But I've built some mega structures in Fallout 4, and there's ways around the build cap so that you can build more in a particular space. So, Spectacle Island, that's your go-to place. Ooh. I've built castles there. It's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool.
With a tower of death, it's just a bunch of laser turrets. And whenever people attack, they get shredded. It's awesome. It's a fun experience. Yeah.
Hylian is saying 3D print your own figurines. That's sick. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I'd love to fuck
Roxy's
around with
just
some
saying
3D
more arts and crafts supplies.
No, that's so real though.
Well, Xandra, I think like Xander and Roxy would be friends because that's
Yeah.
Xandra's
Like,
been in my
what do you
chat
got
lots of
in
times
your
saying
bucket?
me, yeah, the craft spending sprees that Xandra's been on recently. You know.
Oh yeah, it's fall. The fall shopping season has started, which is all arts and crafts, baby.
Yeah. I feel okay. I'm gonna put it out there. This is to each their own. But if you're in our Discord in the 3NPC, you should post a photo of something that you've like created.
Yeah.
Or like worked on or a project. I just want us to share stuff. Okay.
Or your collection of magic cards.
Yeah, or
or
your
whatever.
collections or something. Because
Yeah.
it's cool.
I'll post some magic cards. I'll go find some of my favorite cards and post it in there.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
I should look through my cards again.
This
I love
is
the
a
way they
side
smell.
note. Huh?
Yeah. Speaking
I
of
love
our
the way magic
Discord,
cards smell.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
You waft.
I'm trying to think of if I have any like hobbies that are like creating things. I mean, like I build costumes, but like not really. I'm sort of piecemeal buying costumes, and I like make them. I should attempt to take a picture of my outfit this weekend.
Yeah, give it a try.
Give it a try. We'll see.
Give it a try. Okay, here's a question for the group.
Aw, sorry, Hess.
What happened?
Oh, just the magic cards are gone. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's okay.
Yeah.
God in the world. What is a hobby you wish you did?
Besides writing?
No, like we've talked about the ones that we like you do write, Joe.
Yeah.
Or you
working
can. I'm saying like you have zero skill in, you haven't investigated it all, but like you have heard about it and you're like, I
Singing.
wish I did that. Singing.
I wish, yeah.
Okay.
Specifically death metal.
That's the wrong link.
Oh no. Sorry, I thought I had a good one. I wish I could play an instrument, truly. Hespiel, I'm right there with you. I wish I could play an instrument. The only instrument I'm even remotely good at is percussion. Like the only section I'm remotely good at is percussion. Like because I've got like a little hand drum that I love. I've had so many instruments over the years. I have just never been good at any of them, which is hilarious because I'm actually a fairly good singer. And I used to be like in show choir and like I was president of the women's choir. Like I know how to read music and I know how to like it's just instrument like my eyes and my hands. I can play video games. I just can't do instruments.
Yeah.
I still can't believe we haven't done karaoke.
What do you mean you can't believe? You are the person who's always like, no, let's do something else.
I know, because I joke, because I'm just like, I'd have to be real drunk for that to happen. And how much do I drink?
Not at all.
None at all.
Well, the last time we were going to do karaoke, the Wi-Fi was not very good.
Yeah, that is also true.
So we'll have to do it at someone's actual house.
In terms of like random instruments, the hand pan, it's a
Sorry, the what? The hand pan?
Hand pan. So it's two like metal containers kind of like on top of each other. It's sort of like an oil drum.
Yes.
But, like down. But you hit it at different points on the drum, and it's this really metallic-y percussion instrument that it's beautiful. It's so good.
Okay.
But that's one of the ones that every time I come across it, like on my Instagram wanderings or my like 2 a.m. YouTube binges, I usually wind up watching at least one or two videos with a hand pan in it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, I played piano and I know a little bit of guitar, like 3 songs. So I've tried. It's not going to stick. There's no way.
It's piano, trumpet, and guitar are my like graveyard of instruments.
And the uke has arrived.
What?
Is it showtime?
I can't play it. I just have it.
You're like, I got it.
Yeah.
I just thought a matte black ukulele was just very my aesthetic, so I bought it. I've tried to learn it several times. I don't even think this is tuned. I'm just not very good at it. I wish I was. But I did want to show off my matte black ukulele.
That's awesome.
It's probably the most hipster thing I own.
That's okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
music was something that my parents, when I was very young, they just like splattered me into different things to do, like sports and activities and so music didn't stick.
Oh, you know what's one thing that I wish I'd stuck with? So my piano career was, I think I played for about 6 or 7 years. Like it was a good chunk. But I was when I was exposed to electronic music, I was like, this is cool. And ended up convincing my parents to buy me, because we had to have a piano at home, right? So I convinced my parents to buy me a like full on like DJ level piano synthesizer contraption. And I really wanted to learn how to like do loops and all that kind of stuff. And my piano teacher at the time, he's very good. He's a professional musician, all that kind of stuff, but that wasn't really his jam. And I remember quitting piano and we got rid of it. But then as we were kind of getting rid of it, I got word that it was like one of the top of the line, like
oh no,
ones that that DJs use, or like not necessarily DJs use, but like electronic musicians use, right? To create loops and to do all that kind of stuff. I'm like, fuck, I wish instead of quitting piano, I had like gone and sought out like a different teacher, and it was just a path not taken. And I wish I had at least tried it, But at that point I was actually kind of burnt out on piano. Because I didn't really vibe with the classical stuff, and I know you have to learn that to do the fun stuff, but I got burnt out on it. And so I don't know, that's a hobby in terms of like, I wish I had tried.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm seeing drawing, biking. Roxy is saying woodworking. I am also in that bucket.
Woodworking's cool.
Yeah.
Martial arts. I'd love to get back into martial arts.
That's a good one.
I did taekwondo from when I was 5 years old to when I was 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
And I made black belt when I was 9 years old.
Damn.
But after 12, I stopped going. So I don't remember basically any of it. But I would love to get back into martial arts. That would be awesome.
That'd be fun. I have 6 months of Muay Thai under my belt.
Ooh.
It's not super helpful, but at least I know how to punch.
Yes. Yeah. Some things you won't forget even after all those years.
No.
All my like swimming programming is coming back now that I'm like training and doing drills and stuff like that. All of it is coming back. I still can't do flip turns though. So
that's an interesting thing too. It's just like so I think about my younger years and competitive swimming, like I wouldn't justify that as a hobby.
No.
Like when you put 20 to 25 hours a week in it builds the skill set like you would a hobby, but like I never looked at swimming as a hobby.
I mean, like the goal is like to compete and to win something.
I guess that like makes it different.
Yeah.
I think it's no, sports can be hobbies.
I think like it sort of toes the line whenever you're like actually competing for stuff. Like if you just like to toss a ball around with your friends on the weekend, like that to me is a hobby. But like once you start getting into like the competitive nature of that stuff, it stops being a hobby and it's more like sort of a job, but not really.
It's like
but what about like beer league
activity
stuff, right? Like you're actively competing against other people, but it's not really, the stakes are very low, right? And the investment isn't there, but it's still. And what about like, I don't know, I'll just throw these out there. Like I work with, and a lot of my people I train these days are triathlon people or people who are looking to do a triathlon, So like it's a sport. They're working towards something, but they're not me like the people I'm talking to. Like I just want to complete the triathlon, right? So I think it's more an internal relationship with whatever it is.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I
I
agree.
guess that makes sense. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Yes, Roxy. Let's go take a Taekwondo class.
Do it.
Let's do it. I know
Oh,
you
I see.
live
There's
8 states away, but let's do it.
I was about to say, why don't we all live in the same city again? Yeah. I'd forget about that sometimes.
What was
so
I
there's
gonna
lots
say?
of DJ people in the chat too. Electronic
Oh,
music
cool.
people. Yeah.
I've also seen hobbies go bad though.
Yeah.
What do you
'Cause
mean?
sometimes people get too enraptured in their hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes like a weird toxic relationship that you have with your hobby. Like if your hobby is the only way that like you're getting validation and like you
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
like
Yeah.
you really have to like get into like toxic communities.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like the you know, you're playing Magic as a teenager
You mean like
situation.
the hobby of being a misogynist and then finding yourself on an incel board? Yeah.
I don't
What?
know. That's what I'm
It's a very specific example.
very specific.
I'm talking. You were saying a toxic hobby, misogyny, toxic hobby. I tell you that
Yeah,
right now.
misogyny is a toxic hobby.
Yeah. No, but yeah, you're right. Like it can, in the end,
Like it's
you gotta be
snowballs.
magic.
you gotta be careful about what you invest your time and your heart in.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like if, at some point if a hobby's not like bringing you joy, and like it's not or even like not even just bringing you joy, just like it's not engaging, or it's not flexing the muscle that you need to flex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, figuratively or literally.
Yeah.
Then you need to look at other stuff. Like there's something
Mm-hmm.
else that's gonna poke the good place in your brain.
Yeah.
You make you want to do it over and over again.
In terms of like, I love the way you phrase that. Does poke the good place in your brain. One thing that I've been like rolling around in my brain is like a just for me thing. Is seriously buying myself a full on like race uh, simulator setup. You know,
Oh,
because
like the
you can
controllers.
well
Oh
no you
yeah.
can buy like actual chairs where you sit properly in the position of like where
That's
you
so
would in Formula
cool.
1 car, and
That
like
is
you can buy
something.
a monitor, hook it up to your computer, and like a wheel with gas pedals and stuff like that. Like that's something that because I love racing games. I've been playing Gran Turismo for years, and recently when I started playing Gran Turismo Sport again, it came back into my life at a really crucial moment. And I'm like, I fucking love this. I love chasing lap times. I love the racing line. I love putting the car in the right place and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I should actually invest in this because I don't give a shit about sharing it. I do share it, but I I don't have the same pressure on what I share that I have with like my writing, let's say. And so I'm like, I'll share my hot laps and who cares? Because there's gonna be better people. There's always better people, always faster people. But I like the feeling of putting the car on a racing line. And I can't do it for real because I'm not wealthy, but I could probably afford and justify a race simulator setup.
I mean, that
Even
sounds
more
like
cheap.
any 12-year-old's dream. Like
Yeah.
that, like is just like that, you know. And like sometimes you gotta take care of your inner 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Like go do
Yeah.
something that's just for you. That's not productive and adult.
Oh, Hal, that's got the 3 monitors full surround view. See, like, yeah, that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking now. I'm gonna do some price checks.
For a long time, I wanted to get a VR setup because I wanted to like travel the world through VR. But every time I have
Oh, and a gear shift. Yeah.
Pippin knocked over my sword. How fucking dare you?
Oh, bam.
Rude.
It's funny because he doesn't like the swords. Because I smack him with them. I forget what I was saying. Oh, virtual reality.
Yeah.
It makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
I wanted to travel in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm just gonna have to do it for real.
That's right. It's better. Saying.
even I get a little cross-eyed when I do VR stuff. It's I don't know, it's weird.
I guess I technically, if we think about it, I guess like motorcycling for me is a hobby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, that qualifies.
I think that qualifies. Like, I don't take it too seriously, but I don't know. It's weird. It's more like, is it an activity that I just do, or is it a hobby? But maybe it is a hobby because it makes me feel good.
Maybe you're like beyond a hobbyist. You're like an enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like you put a lot of time and effort into your bike and into your community and into like, you know,
But
My
it fills your cup
video.
too, right?
your
Huh?
videos.
My what?
It fills your cup, right?
Well, yeah, it
So,
fills my cup.
yeah. You can
Do you
basic head tracking.
understand the feeling of riding a motorcycle through the Rocky Mountains at 8:30 p.m. at midsummer and having the breeze hit you in the right way and you hit the corner at the right time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an enthusiast. I'm not a
You're an
hobbyist about that.
enthusiast. I would love.
I just wanted to point out Hess's point here that maybe it's a hair we don't need to split, you know?
Mm,
That's true.
Yeah. Because I don't think calling something a hobby is meant to diminish it. Because I think when people say, oh, it's just a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Often it's meant to diminish whatever that is because it's not productive in a capitalist sense. But I don't know. That made me think, Hess. Appreciate that.
I
Thank you
mean,
for that.
yeah, it's a good point. But there is the flip side of that too. Because I would say that it's not even just a value factor, it's also a societal status thing. There have been plenty of people in my life who have walked up to me while I'm operating a camera and they're like, "Oh, this is a hobby? That's cool." And you go, "No.
Excuse
I
me,
need you
what?
to walk away from me right now before I hurt you."
My taxes beg to differ.
Yeah. Well, I think that's someone just being a total fucking asshole about, a profession.
No, but
right?
it's an interesting thing where, especially with hobbies that are applicable to art-based things, I think people diminish art a lot of the time and don't see it as a profession
Yeah.
in certain
100%.
standards. I'm not that's like a very large blanket statement, but
Well,
you know,
you don't have to scan Instagram, or not Instagram, well, I guess Instagram too, but you don't have to scan Twitter too long to find an artist that doesn't have some sort of public announcement about, hey, this costs what it costs because I put lots of fucking training and professional education into this. So you're going to pay me or you're not going to get your thing, right?
Yeah.
Every artist, from people who make enamel pins through to people who do prints to
People who draw furry porn.
Yeah, people who draw furry porn, right? The whole spectrum of people who create artistic things.
That's
right?
that's the spectrum of art. People who draw furry porn, all the way to people who make enamel pins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It covers the whole thing.
Actually, I love enamel pins. Actually, no, I love enamel magnets. If I could collect enamel magnets, I would have too many in my house.
You'd have to start installing metal surfaces just to.
Yeah, no, honestly, no.
Collect the set as the Twitter forexposure.txt account. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For exposure.
Well, I mean, see, that's the interesting thing too, is just I think it is mostly a state of mind. When we think about a hobby, and this is interesting because we started off the night being like pretty clear about what a hobby is.
Now we're just like, nope.
Now I think it's like diverted a little bit and we have some more flexibility with it, which is good, right?
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I think the one base thing that I am settling on is like a hobby is a self-defined thing. Like you kind of determine how much value you put in this thing and how much you get. I don't want to say validation out of it. Whether that be external or internal. I think it's like as much as you fulfill yourself with the thing.
Yeah, you get personal value.
Personal value. I think that's a good way to line it up.
Yeah.
Kind of sets it down. So.
Yeah. And I think it's about that internal dialogue when it comes to that personal value about and I just say this from me as from a personal experience, making sure that we're checking in with that internal capitalist or that internal perfectionist or performance oriented aspect of ourselves, um, to just be mindful that that's not worming its way in there, that we're just doing that check in, that, this is for me and I'm going to kind of keep it in that context, and share. I think it's okay to share stuff, but I think if you start getting fixated on the responses and how people react to it, I think that might be not that you need to drop the thing, of course, but just that like you need to just reorient yourself and remind yourself why you're doing the thing,
Yeah.
Try to turn everything into a job if it doesn't need
Yeah.
to be.
Exactly. I think that's a good way about it. Sorry, super random thing. Joe, you need to grab something inside your room and hold it. Because Des has the sword. I have my lighter.
You can do your thing. Grab one of your fidget things.
Trinity trifecta needs to be locked in right now.
I have my Destiny penguin.
Oh, very nice.
There's a
There we
penguin
go.
inside who's
Perfect.
operating. It's a spacesuit for penguins.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I have Tally.
Tally.
Yeah, and then one of my little anime
Choose your
figurines.
weapon.
Joe.
Yeah. A little anime standee. I'll actually hold on to my cards. I'll
Your cards?
thumb
Look
through
at
my
you.
cards.
This is
Yeah.
so appropriate. Like Des is our warrior. I'm like the rogue arsonist, and Joe is our wizard.
Yeah. Got spells and everything. Ooh, Rugged Highlands. This is one of the ones they reintroduced.
Did all of these nerds? I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm out of fuel. That's not very good of me. A lighter with no fuel in it.
Ugh.
Where's my rares in here? What did I get for rares?
Speaking of fire, I actually will have the unique opportunity to engage in one of the hobbies that I love that I get to engage in the least, which is fire dancing.
Oh.
Ooh.
I used to back in my early 20s, I spent several years training with palm torches and doing dances with palm torches at events, mostly women's festivals. And I don't get to do it anymore because I don't have a backyard.
Yeah.
I can't fire dance in my apartment.
Right.
But I'm going to a festival in a couple of weeks, and I just I contacted them and I asked them if they needed either safety people or performers, and they're like, "Yeah, if you want to perform, come perform." I was
Very cool.
I get to go play with fire.
Woo, fire!
I like fire.
I love fire. I love playing with fire. I got to when I was in Hawaii last time. I got to was the last time? Yes. I got to spin Fire Boy with a bunch of other fire people,
Cool.
and
Nice.
that was super fun. It's a very cool. That's also one of those I don't know why I have such intense hobbies. I just
The
thought
thrill of it, obviously.
just what LARP that is super time intensive and also can sometimes be emotionally intensive depending on how you play it. Fire, which is just dangerous. Going to festivals, which is time and money intensive.
Yeah.
I don't have nearly as many hobbies as Alex does, though.
Well,
Alex has a house built on hobbies.
Yeah. Sometimes this is gonna be a generalization. I'm projecting about myself. Sometimes you can have too many hobbies because there is not enough energy in the world.
Truly, I think what it is that her hobby is having hobbies.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
I think that's the rub.
Sorry, it was really funny when you're just like, I love fire. This when I went camping with Val a couple weeks ago, I was playing with the fire a lot because I like doing that. And I was just I had this realization. I'm a pyro who loves water, and I'm a fairly grounded person who's obsessed with the sky. And then Val out of nowhere, she's like, "You're the Avatar." I was like, yes, I am. I am the Avatar.
You gotta shave your head again.
I gotta shave my head again at some point. I'll shave my head again at some point in my life again. Right now, I actually have a haircut on Friday, and I'm re-mulleting
Yeah.
the situation.
Give us that
Hmm.
sweet, sweet mullet.
Sweet, 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 sweet gay mullet.
Mhm.
Let's go. But
Truly, that's
I had
what
to
I
put the
need.
cards down because I had just this overwhelming urge to organize them because I saw that there
oh,
was
Oh,
I
duplicates
yeah.
see. I should
that
probably
were
stop doing
not.
that. It's like a really annoying sound clicking the lighter.
So yeah, I'll organize it. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, God, I need
Don't
to
do it
organize it.
right now.
They're
You have
just in
6
there.
more minutes.
Yeah, they're just in
You
there as I pulled them from the packs, and they're not organized in
Oh,
common, uncommon, rare, and then duplicates
right.
as well. There's lands all over the place. It's very distressing, so I'm just not going to look at it for now.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
threaten you with my sword.
With your sword. Your
My
sword.
I also have a big latex shield. It's just of my car.
It's
Because you
you have
never
so
know.
much stuff. You have to store it in your car.
Yeah.
You know what? Funny but not funny. I could actually put that latex shield to protest, and I thought about it
Oh, yeah.
because it's like it's actually pretty. It wouldn't take a anything crazy, but like just as like a body blocker, it's a pretty
Yeah.
good shield.
It's pretty
And
good
it's
shit.
also like it's also like a little soft because it's like latex foam, but it's not super soft. So it takes impact very well because
Right.
there's something to compress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I just remembered the hobby that I wish I did, but I don't. So for my job, I get to see a lot of things in the world.
Mhm.
Like I just get to like drop in people's lives and
Oh, yeah.
just see like a speckling of it, right? And I don't know, about 4 or 5 months back, actually did a video for a local independent press agency. So
Hmm.
like making books, like pressing
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I remember watching and I was like, why am I so relaxed right now? Like, I'm just watching you push paper together and then like binding it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
this is really relaxing.
I love watching those videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was
Another thing, watch people make paint.
make paint.
Yeah, like they mix pigments. They mix dried pigments together with a medium.
Oh,
then
you mean
they'll
like the real way to make paint, not like
Yeah.
with the bucket and you just like put paint in it and shake it up.
No,
Okay.
it's like hand mixing and like hand grinding the pigments, and then
Oh.
Mhm.
some of the best. That's some of the best relaxing content on the internet.
It's
But yeah, that's I've also seen relaxing videos on YouTube of people
Yeah.
binding books. And
Well,
I think I might have to find those.
It was a whole like Tumblr thing a while back, like years back when Tumblr was a thing, of like people would reblog different calming videos. Like one that was legendary that I always loved was the freaking crayon making one. And
Oh.
Mr. Rogers was narrating it, and you're just like, oh God, this is
that's amazing.
my brain.
Oh,
It's just massaging my brain. Mr. Rogers talking about making crayons. Fuck, so good.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm reading here, Goki, you bought land to accommodate your hobbies. That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the dream, Goki.
Activities.
No, yeah, I bookbinding, printing. Yeah, that's
Mm,
yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
I am
Archery.
strangely drawn to it. Ooh, yeah, that's you do that.
I haven't talked about archery. Well, archery I feel like is less of a hobby now because I mostly teach.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I would love
That's-
to get back into archery.
That's cool though. I remember we were in Japan.
Oh.
I remember seeing some high school kids, and they were. I think it's more. I don't know if it's like more that girls do it or women do it, but there was 6 or 8 of them, and they all had their massive like Japanese bows. Do you remember that, Kara?
Oh, yes.
Because they're in like these kimono things with it's white, it's black,
Yes.
black pant leggings. They all have their hair in ponytails, but the bows are huge. And I remember just being like, yeah,
Huge bows.
Those like
Yeah.
ship to ship longbows. Yeah.
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 I was like,
That was intense.
yeah, but archery bow stuff has always been kind of cool, always interesting to me. So
Oh, knife making. I just realized the other one that I would probably totally love to learn how to do. Not be a blacksmith, but like specifically how to make knives. I think that would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's like nowadays, there's like classes and stuff you can take to do that sort of stuff.
Yep. Well, there's
Good
classes for
time,
all
money.
these things that
Yes,
we're
I
talking
know.
about. Yeah.
Time, money.
Again,
yeah.
these are things that I have in my brain where I'm like, I would love to learn how to do that. I would love to learn how to build a cabin. So that one day I could go build my own cabin.
I'm
But
sure there's a YouTube channel for that.
I'm sure there is. But it's very daunting. Like, we're talking about a full set of skills that are required to build a cabin.
Here's what you do. You come to here for like a month. And you build a dog house for my dog.
Oh, interesting.
And then you start off there.
Start small
Dog
and build
house.
my way up.
Yeah,
Okay.
dog house.
Yeah.
Not
Goki says a grinder, some safety gear, and some time. Let's go. Goki, you forgot the first step. I got to go buy some land.
Yeah.
So that's
land
the
is
first
important.
step.
Yeah.
Xandra, a modern cabin? No, it doesn't need to be like fancy and shit. But
what
like
about tiny houses?
I would like to have like a few lines of electricity in it, you know?
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Well, Kara, I always pictured you with like a full on official log cabin thing,
Yeah,
Yes.
1000%.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
I was
pictured
thinking
you
like
have.
A-frame.
Yeah.
You know, but like full, like the logs stacked up, and you know,
Yeah.
like peat and moss as the roof and stuff like that.
Yes.
A
I
little- a
just
little
bought some
shed out
coveralls. I think this is the beginning of that transformation. So,
You just need to start collecting power tools.
oh, I
Yeah.
do already. I have a drill downstairs. I got a sander. What else do I got? Not a jigsaw. That's the wrong one. Circular saw. I have stuff.
That's absolutely correct, Roxy. Like a human-sized doghouse. See, what you really need to do is you need to start making a moose-sized doghouse, and then you just start making bigger dog houses.
Yeah. Design your house for moose, and then just use that blueprint for a human.
These are the things that, remember how I said I make things but I don't show?
Yeah.
Like, I have blueprints of my dream cabin already.
That's
like, I
amazing.
have the
love
layout
that.
for it. I already know what it's gonna look like, the materials that I want to see on it. Like,
I love that.
a lot of brain power has gone into this. And then I just want to have like solstice burns at my house. At my cabin.
Then I would have a place to come do fire dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And archery. That's the other thing about not having a backyard, is that I also don't really have a place to shoot arrows right now.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Goki, sounds like we're gonna have visitors. Obviously, we gotta come shoot stuff at your place. So
yeah, I can bring all of my latex weapons, and we can beat each other up, and then we can shoot non-human targets, and then also fire.
Yeah,
and
it's all
magic.
the things I need. Yeah, coveralls to cabin. That'll be it. Hess. This will be my transformation.
Hess is talking about wanting an underground house. As long as we're like fantasizing,
like an earth ship.
I would love and again, this is not cabin based at all, but the idea of some loft, is some loft with like the brick walls, really high roof with the just sort of like industrial pipes like running through the thing. That's been sort of like a dream thing,
like a loft situation.
Yeah, loft situation.
Yeah,
in some metropolis. Yeah,
Goki, we're coming to your place because you have land, and we're gonna
build a cabin. We're gonna shoot stuff.
We're gonna play Magic the Gathering by firelight.
You're gonna teach us everything about radio systems.
I feel like Xander's on something. Like a cabin and fire are a bad combination.
No. Responsible fire manipulation.
Yeah,
is good.
Be safe. Don't play with fire.
Be safe.
Play with fire.
There's rules about fire. You got to respect the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good. There we are. Okay, that's our signal.
It is nice. I just spent 7 hours
time.
teaching today, so
I was working downtown all day with people. So
yeah, but were you singing songs to babies about splashing constantly over and over again and wrangling tiny children?
That's very cute.
teaching grown adult humans to try and tell stories about their businesses on camera.
Oh, that
It
does
sounds
sound
more fun, to be honest.
Yeah, I would rather do that than what I did today. I mostly just edited pictures and I got up absurdly early for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I
That
will say
is-
that my day was not as exhausting as I was expecting it to be. 7 hours of teaching is a long day, but it was
Mhm.
not as bad. And I think I might prefer it to 7 hours of guarding or 8 hours of guarding.
Mm.
I'll get to compare it this Sunday because I work my 8 hours on Sunday. But yeah,
Well,
Very
it's
I don't
nice
know.
to know when you can turn off your brain. Because, like, in
Yep.
between groups, you can kind of just turn off your brain for a little, like a second, like a hot second in between groups. But, like,
Yeah.
doing 8 hours of guarding is just like, I must be aware
Yeah.
for 8 hours.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Well, this was a fun one. This was a fun
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
We had show and tell time and props.
Adult show and tell.
Yeah.
We need more
Seriously,
adult show
though,
and tell.
if you want to share, please show us photos of
Yeah.
things that you do
Yeah,
because it's
3NPC channel in the Discord. Take some pictures of your hobby, whatever that is, even if it's like digital pictures from the digital things you do build.
fun.
Yeah.
Like one call's already gone in here. Builds PCs for fun. Yeah,
That's awesome.
that is awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
that-
baby.
I also watch a lot of videos of that of people like building PCs.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I still need to go about getting my PC built, so maybe we'll
I know because we got to go play the Division again, Joe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
When-
Play
Very
the
good.
OG.
Speaking of, what's our schedule look like for the week, friends?
I got my solo stream tomorrow night. Back into KOTOR. The path of the Sith is
Sething.
in our grasp. I am very evil right now.
So
Yeah.
evil.
I think I might be the most evil in my whole group. So we're gonna keep going down that road. Other than that, 2NPC on Sunday, and then I'm gone for 10 days. So I'm gonna be a
Bye.
void at that point.
Oh, okay.
I'm streaming. I'm going back in the time machine, the gaming time machine. I'm playing System Shock 2 on Friday, around 3 p.m. So, yeah.
I
that's
need a
gonna be-
visual of what that looks like. System Shock
I don't know.
2.
It's a sort of spooky first-person shooter.
Oh, it's like Doom,
Ooh.
but not Doom.
No.
No?
Cool.
No.
No. Well, no. It's came a lot later than Doom, but yeah, it's it
No,
has
but
a
I'm
good.
saying like the styling of it.
Yep.
Looks like Doom.
But it's been in my thing forever, and I want to play a spooky game because it's spooky season.
Yes, it's spooky season.
Yeah,
It's not spooky season yet, you
it is.
kiddos.
Spooky season
Not till
in my
October,
heart.
yo.
September 1st. September
All
1st.
the
It's spooky
I don't
season,
know about that. We have different ideas of what spooky
and
season
spooky
is.
season
I'm so
continues
tired of
through
summer.
and up until Christmas.
I am not because as soon as spooky season rolls around, the bike goes away, and that makes me sad.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
anyway,
I don't think I'm doing anything. I don't know. I did figure out though how to stream with my Switch.
oh fun,
Look at me go. I figured out how to use a capture card.
very good.
Tech genius over
Since I
here.
was in-
My bitrate is still super slow. I still have to figure out what setting I have fucked up on my, but whatever. I'll figure it out. So maybe there might be some stuff next week. There's probably not anything this week. Because I leave Friday and I'm gone Friday to Sunday. To go be
Right.
a wizard in the woods.
A wizard in the woods. But yeah, I think for certain though, 3NPC, less than 3NPC won't be coming back until October.
Because you're gone, Kara.
I'm gone up. I'm up in the Edmontons until the
Oh.
30th.
My
Right.
own chat command doesn't work. I wonder if it's because I'm a mod or something. Okay. But we'll figure out when next we're doing Team PC and or 3NPC, less than 3NPC. And if you really miss us that bad, you can go check us out on YouTube. Go search Less
The
Than
YouTubes.
3NPC as you see it in the title here of the chat. And go watch our previous episodes if you've
We
missed
have
them.
like a library now.
We have,
Yeah.
we have like 12 or something. I don't know.
Do we have 12? That's dope. That's dope.
I don't know.
Love
I'm
that.
the person who runs the YouTube, and I have no idea how many episodes we have. I think we have 12. I think this is actually 13.
Ooh, love that. 13
We're
is an
in
awesome
double
number.
digits, people.
We're in
really
double
rolling.
digits. Look at us commit to this conversation.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so much fun getting to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. Talk about nerdy shit.
Talk
Yeah.
about shit. Well, folks, I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. It was so
Mhm.
lovely chatting with you all here in the chat and my two friends here. You know, before we go, I would like to lovingly remind everyone to live well, laugh often, and hail Satan. Have a good night.
See you
Bye.
later.
I wish I had fire. My fuel's downstairs.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan!